This week on Gotta Go,
I did my first weekly admin night and it was a bit life-changing.
what I am manifesting right now.
I learned about a crucial female sex organ and I can't believe I didn't know about it.
I'm going to save you $100,000 or more on your home loan. You're welcome. All this and more on Gotta Go, Gotta Go. I want to know, Bri, jump straight into it. What's been working for you recently? Just like in life, in general. What's been working, what hasn't?
After our chat last week about families and how do you do the mental load and coordinate and not want to kill your partner, we started a weekly admin night on a Monday night. We're just going to commit to doing it. We were going to do it once a month. We sat down to do it for 20 minutes last night. We ended up doing an hour 20 because we were like, we got so much stuff to organize and so much house maintenance to do. But it was really nice to sit and together create the list, the master list, and just do a big brain dump. But also you get more of a sense of like the things your partner does that you didn't know about. And yeah, it just felt like it took it all out of my head and off my load. So that was really good. But we're going to just commit to it weekly for now until we get our shite together because there's a bit to organize.
How did you run it? Did you sat down and how did you know, where did you start?
We literally just got out a shared Google Doc, an Excel doc, and we did different sheets for different areas like house admin, finances, and then we just started last night with a brain dump of all the things. But in the process of doing that, it was suddenly like, oh, that's right, we've got that party this weekend. Oh, you're going away on Friday, so I've got to do this with the kids and just, all the coordination.
I feel like there's so much to you can see how communication just does just drips sort of falls away in relationships so easily. But I almost feel like you need an agenda because it's okay, what's going on this week? And then small goals we're working towards as a couple and then just shit that needs to get done. You can literally plan it like a board meeting.
Yeah, I think that's really good. We'll do that. I think last night was definitely just the starting point, where are we even at? But I love that, having a set thing that we do. But also I think as part of that, putting the fun stuff in, planning the fun stuff, And what date nights are we going on? We also went on our first micro date last week. So
what is a micro date?
Came up with this idea, talking with our producer Brianna actually, who's, got lots of great ideas about all the things. But I was sort of I want to do a date night, but I didn't have time. And Brianna made the great point, it doesn't need to be go to a fancy restaurant situation and take 3 hours out and have a babysitter.
Yeah.
We had our lovely babysitter there for a few hours. So I just asked her to stay an extra 30 minutes and we went for a walk together, child-free, and just talked. And I was it's a micro date.
Have you
but
ever
it's a quick
done
bit
that
of time together. Never.
since you had a
Never.
baby?
Not unless every now and then mum's you two go and have a bit of time or do something. But I it's almost it was too short a time that I would normally just disregard it. But I was actually, to have half an hour together without kids, without responsibilities, it was so nice.
Yes.
And we just could walk and talk and just get a whole lot of stuff out about our days and our weeks and what's coming up, and that was really nice. So just finding little times for micro connection and micro dates that doesn't have to be a whole shebang and a day, dinner and a show,
Dinner and a show. Plus, sometimes you don't want to do that either. You're so tired. You're can't think of anything worse.
Absolutely not. I was going for a walk together for 30 minutes, getting some exercise, dream. So yeah, that was a revelation to me.
Well, that's a really good win. Also, I'm curious, just because I'm wanting to do this with my partner, do you two set big goals of what you want to eventually achieve together?
Probably at the moment it's been in year-long increments because, we've only been together 4 years, to be honest, and in the last 4 years we've moved state, got married, had 2 babies, we've had a bit on.
All I'm hearing is excuses, Bridie.
Exactly. Now it's the time. But we do at the start of the year sit down and map out what are our family goals for the year. We both do our own goals. I'm very big on a word of the year and I love goal setting and thinking about the dream for the year. But yes, we've been doing joint family ones. But I realized the other day we should do that as part of this process because I don't even know where they are. I haven't done my own rule, which is print them out, have them somewhere visible.
Can I make a suggestion as well, which you can
Please,
take or
go
not
ahead.
take? But it's when you're doing that Sunday check-in, it's a really cool opportunity to literally just go, and these are what my individual goals are as well. How are you tracking with your individual goals? Because I think otherwise we forget to have our own goals, and we're all about like together, the family. But I think it's also really important that we don't forget what our own goals are as well.
Yeah, and I think for me, I always try to bite off more than I can chew every week. I'm like, I want to do this and this and this and this. And, you know, we have a little accountability group more of some gorgeous women we meet with on a Monday morning, one being Christina Carlson, who founded Kiki K and now
I
runs Dream
love
Life Store.
Kiki. She's
She the
amazing.
best. Shout out, an amazing podcaster also, introduced by our wonderful producer Brianna. She's just said to us all, like, going forward now, pick your 3 things for the week, commit to them to the group. So I'm going to start doing that and just be like, what are the 3 things I get done this week? And that can include family and personal goals. Like we have a serious issue going on with leaking and roof, and it's all very boring, but like our house is slowly filling up with mold. It's quite urgent. Like that's just something I have to get sorted this week, or all the other things don't matter. Like I've got to get that done.
Yeah, health comes first.
How about you, Mole? What's going well for you?
Well, what I think you're inspiring me to think about is I need to do this as well. Like, I know I've been needing to do this, but because we've been traveling, I'm like, we just haven't done it. But do you know what?
I'm just hearing excuses, Mole.
But no, you're exactly right. Like, we need to have this check-in, especially on a Sunday, because we both, like, even though we're traveling, like, we've got lots of moving pieces. Like, I'm running workshops in the evenings. Vinny needs to have baby. But I'd say what we've been doing this week, which has been working well, keeping in mind that it's Tuesday and we started this yesterday, is going, okay, we're still traveling, but he's still working like a full-time job during the day. So it means I'm with baby, and at the moment we don't have a sitter, so I'm literally with baby the whole time. Obviously that's going to change a little bit, but what we've been doing is going, okay, the mornings, let's split the mornings up, 7:30 to 8:30, you go have free time, 8:30 to 9:30, I have free time. So you take baby and then I'll take baby. So it means that's when I can actually exercise. So I've been doing that. I did yoga on Sunday, I did yoga Monday.
Wow.
Instead of doing yoga today, I'm doing the podcast recording. You're welcome. It's been so nice to have that time and not to have to stress about baby. And he went this morning and I was like, go to the gym. He's like, yeah, I'm going. So that means then he gets his workout done, and depending on baby, if she wakes up 50 times in a night or not, it does obviously change that. But I'm like, do you know what? Morning moments for ourselves is what I'm loving.
That's great. And I love that. I think sometimes it's easy to default to both of you have to be there all the time together. Like I know that we do that a lot. And I've been thinking a bit more about that divide and conquer, because also it's very intense at the moment to leave one of you with a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, especially if I'm going to have them all day. But like also to say one of you take one and one take the other. Like we don't do that often. And I thought it's actually much more manageable if one of you just has one and then that child's getting special time alone. But like I joke that because I have not a lot of baby free time outside of the little bit of work I do.
Yeah.
And I've been at the point where like, I'll take the bins out. I'll do the bin run so I can just have a few moments to myself. It's like, or like, I'll quickly drive to the chemist and get the thing because I'll have 10 minutes in the car to myself. And I'm like, okay, if this is a break, like this is a sad reflection right now, I need a bit more time to not feel like the only time that I have child free, I have to work. I actually need like a little, like to allow myself some guilt free. It's okay to like do something else.
When Amali was first born, my guilt-free time was in the shower. I think I had like extra long showers because I was like,
you've been in there for 45 minutes.
It's just me. Yeah. So that's been going well for me. And then I have realized that, I've got my business, we've been traveling, but like I haven't set myself a big goal recently for like just me personally. So I'm currently in Krabi in Thailand still, and then we're going to Bangkok. We're going to base ourselves in Bangkok for 3 weeks. So we've got a service department. I found a lovely nanny who's going to come kind of like 8 till 5 every day. Obviously she gets a lunch break, and we pay for her lunch. And I looked at the equivalent and she's like, oh, if I can just have like $5 for lunch every day. I'm like, I'm sure we can do better than that. It works out, I think, around like $8 or $9 an hour.
Wow.
Which is wild.
That's wild. Like the equivalent in Australia, you're looking
I was paying
generally at a minimum
an
of
hour.
$40.
I was paying $40 an hour. And she's a lovely lady. She's got lots of experience. So I'm like, brilliant. Now have baby, but also I love it when she's just there. She can play, but there's someone there who can keep her really engaged and entertained. But the point of the story was, yes, so we've got I've got my big online wealth summit, which is not a plug. It's literally just one of the biggest events I do of the year for my business. And last year we had 2.5
What is it, by the way?
Oh,
Like,
so
what is an online wealth
it's a
summit?
day. So it's like I kind of started it as like a give back to our community. So it's like a day where we get all the best speakers in the country who can talk on financial topics. And we literally do like a day where anyone in Australia can come and they can learn from the best experts. And like I've had feedback in the past from women being like, I never thought I'd ever be able to like listen to this level of expertise for free. And even when I'm on it, I'm like, God, this shit is so good. This is going to make people money. And so we do this every year and we get it sponsored. So we put that money back into marketing and things like that. But this year I was like, do you know what? I want to set myself something scary. I want to set myself like a crazy goal. Like I want to get 5,056 registrations.
That's a very specific number.
But I think that's what you have to do when you're manifesting. You've got to be super specific.
Okay.
And I kind of want to take people on the journey. So we can definitely do check-ins if people are interested. Because when it comes to manifesting, you know, I'm a big manifester. And as you said, I've been okay at manifesting. I think, you know, I manifested a partner, a baby, a business work remotely, and also my 2 properties. They were all like things that I wanted, I manifested, I thought about, I visualized.
Can I just say though, how much is manifesting and how much is just you worked really hard and then got those things? I'm a little unclear on the distinction.
But I think manifesting is goal setting. Like there's a level of visualization, but you know, everyone does manifesting differently. This is how I do it. I don't think there's any right way or wrong way. But what I think manifesting gets a really bad rap and where everyone's like, it's a bit woo-woo, is people go, I want this thing, I'm visualizing and I'm putting it out to the universe, and then they do nothing. Yeah. Whereas it's like, no.
So what is your version of it? What is manifesting to you? How do you do it?
My version is I'm getting really clear on what I want and I'm putting it on my phone. So every time I look at my phone, it's like, this is what I want. I'm visualizing that number on Zoom, 5056. And now I'm coming up with the action plan. And this is the most important part people forget when it comes to manifesting. You can't just wish for it. You got to make it happen. And so now I'm going, okay, that is a big scary number. Like we've got about 650 registered. So I've got a bit of work to do. So now I'm going to look at, well, how do I break it down? Where am I going to get these registrations from? So I can get a little bit from my database, a little bit from my Instagram, a little bit from the podcast. So now my next step is to like break down where I think I can get those numbers from, like different partners, all this stuff, and then just kind of like keep going until I hit that number. But Brandy, I'm saying right now, I have no idea how, but I'm going to hit 5,056. And I have to give a shout out as well to Kiki because she inspires me a lot. Christina Carlson. She inspires me so much. She's
an epic friend.
And an epic manifester. And she's always says, like, it doesn't matter if you don't know how to get there. The point is, like, you start with the dream. So I know it's a bit like, not like the most exciting dream for people, but for me, that's like, wow.
You know, it's really funny because here I am like having a laugh, being like, you're a bit woo-woo. But the second I met my husband, Byron, something in my head just said, where the F-U-C-K have you been my whole life? Like that was the first beat, the microsecond I laid eyes on him. So
I find it so funny because I dated for so long and you always would give me this advice like, it will be easy when you meet them. And I was like, I don't, whatever. And then I would be in like these horrendously strained, like little situationships. And, but then I got it. I was like, oh, it should be easy. And if they want to, and you gave me great advice once. You said, if someone wants to be with you, they'll be with you. And I was like,
yeah, like, and you don't want to be like begging someone to be with you. Like, what a horrendous position to be in. Not that you were begging, but like if someone doesn't want to be with you.
You find yourself in these situationships where you're like, oh, it could be good. It could be amazing. And then you just keep them going and keep them going. So if you're listening and you're single and you're in that situation, just end it.
It's so true though. But the sign of like a wonderful relationship is just that ease and that flow. And I think sometimes what we grow up watching and the movies we ingest and the books we read, it's all about that tension and that fighting and that like that sexual chemistry. And it's like, actually, I think the sign of the right one, the perfect relationship, is just actually this feeling of ease and calm, and it's effortlessness. And I know with
Especially at the
Byron,
start.
yeah, well, definitely, but that you're excited and energized, but it doesn't feel hard and it doesn't feel stressful. I also reflected on a previous relationship I was in that in hindsight, I knew it was strained and it wasn't right, but I would wake up in the middle of the night every now and then beside this person, and I just felt a bit sick in the pit of my stomach. And that is your body, I really believe. Like your body knows before your mind has accepted it.
I remember I would feel nauseous with a couple of guys I dated with about 2 weeks before I broke up with them. And I'm going, why am I feeling so nauseous all of a sudden? And as soon as we broke up, that nausea left me. And I was like, your body knows before you do.
Your body knows, but also women, I think, have remarkable intuition, but we have been coached by the world, by society, by the patriarchy to suppress it and ignore it and not be silly little girls. And actually, all this stuff that we're talking about, the universe being woo-woo, and even that we have to qualify it and be like, oh, it's a bit woo-woo, or it's a bit lame. It's like, no, actually, probably what it is it's your intuition. We are so much wiser than we know. Our subconscious already knows on so much stuff, and we just should actually run with that. Like when we met our dream men, everything aligned and we knew, right? It was just right. And it's like, trust yourself actually is the takeaway.
Yeah, I remember being with this one guy in London and I had a dream that we got pregnant and I was crying in my dream. I felt trapped. I woke up in a panic and I was like, it's probably not a good sign, is it?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of online personalities at the moment, women that are like deliberately single but enjoying it, but they talk about decentering men. And it's a concept I hadn't really heard of before because I think, when you're young and you're single, so much of the energy of yourself, but everyone around you, oh, have you met someone? Like, da, 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 like when are you going to meet
It's
someone? When are you going to
all you
settle down?
talk about.
It's
It's
all you talk about.
about.
And I love this idea, these women like sharing their reflections on actually by decentering men being like a pivotal thing that they're focusing on right now and what that has opened up in their life and their own relationship with themselves. They're doing things they really enjoy, not just something that's going to maybe mean they can meet a man. And it's been life-changing for them. So I love that
I
concept.
think that was the first time I sat down with some business women and we started discussing business and we didn't once talk about men. And I remember being like, wow, this is the first conversation I think I've ever had in a group situation where there hasn't been like a boy chat.
Yeah, well, once again, talking about the media we consume growing up, have you heard about that rule? What's it called? The Bechdel test. Have you heard about
Yeah.
the Bechdel test
Yeah,
before?
but do
Yeah.
tell.
So it's a simple test, 3 rules that most movies don't pass. Is there more than one main female character? Ba-bam, most movies don't pass it. Does she have a speaking role? And then does she speak to another woman in the film about something other than men? And most films do not actually pass the Bechdel test, which is crazy. It's getting better, obviously. But if we have grown up in a culture that only consumes that content, what does it teach boys and then that become men? And what does it teach girls about what our focus in our life should be on and our importance and our value? Also, a recommendation, I was listening this week to the Imperfects podcast by the amazing Hugh Van Cuylenberg and Josh, his brother, and Ryan Shelton. And they had an amazing intimacy coordinator on who did all the intimacy, they're the person on set, like teaching actors how to do the sex scene and working out how they're going to do it with consent. But she made the amazing point, once again, that we grow up like consuming these sex scenes and they inform how we then think that we should perform and be and what normal is. And for starters, most of those are generally written and directed by men. But she was also talking about how actually in the course of a normal sexual experience, it's really normal for a man to like be soft, then go erect, then plateau where like it drops back, and then she said reach the resolution phase, which was very English and very funny. But, you know, she's like, that never gets portrayed in a film. So if a man's then in that situation, he's freaking out, but it's really normal. And she's like, we don't actually know what's normal in our sexual relationships. And okay, sidebar, you're probably not going to be that interested in this conversation because we don't really ever talk about sex or anything
Ew, I
sexual.
don't want to hear about anything sexual. Gross.
Off the back of that conversation, she was talking about the clitoris, basically. And I was like, I don't actually even know what a clitoris looked like. Have you ever seen what a clitoris looks like? I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Clitoris. It looks like a mini penis. Anyway, I've just discovered my clitoris, but what it actually is. But once again, I was like, how have I got to 40 and this conversation has never been had? All the sex ed classes, all the whatever. And it like mirrors the penis. It's really interesting. Or should I say the penis mirrors the clitoris? Anyway, it was a fascinating conversation. Highly recommend. Everyone should go check it out.
Well, look, this podcast always takes us to different places. I did not think I'd be Googling
This
a
wasn't
clitoris.
this wasn't on the
wasn't on the
pre-production
brief.
notes. If you're listening, Google clitoris, check it out. It's a great thing. We should all know what a clitoris looks like. Yeah, and this is why, women always complain. They're like, men don't know where the clitoris is. Well, it turns out a lot of women, I don't think, know either.
where it is. We're a mystery.
How can you guide if you don't even know? So anyway, there you go. Do you know what I learned that is crazy this week? Something that I'm never, ever going to put in my mouth ever again.
Yeah.
Do you know what chewing gum is made out of?
Oh, God, no. I saw a video once, like they remade chewing gum and they put everything that's actually in chewing gum. And I literally to this day have not ever had a piece of chewing gum since.
So get this. It is effectively plastic. It's just synthetic plastic and rubber polymers hidden under this, like it's gum base. So you're literally chewing on plastic. And they said it just sheds thousands and thousands of pieces of microplastic into your body every time you chew it. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. You can buy some like plastic-free gums from health food shops, but any standard gum you're chewing, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with bubble gum, with gum, all that. Yeah.
Isn't it scary? Like, I wonder if in like 50 years' time they'll be like, I can't believe what you guys were consuming. I reckon they probably will.
Definitely they will. Look at something like asbestos. They knew about it. Like it kills people. It still does. A tiny little grain of it on your chest and they were still like, oh, well, keep doing it till we get away with it,
When we were in flying one of the airlines, they give you this toy. They call it a plush comforter. It's just a toy for your baby, a plush comforter. But it's like this little Disney character. And I'm like, that is just full of microplastics. And I was like, I don't even want to give it to her because like she's going to chew on it and then without a doubt it's going to be covered in microplastics.
Oh, 100%. And you presume stuff that's made for kids must be healthy. It is absolutely not. So like I was part of a plastics campaign last year. They were saying things like the rubber mats that your babies are on, chew toys, teething toys, like anything that's not made from a natural ingredient is just shedding microplastic into their mouth. Because, also babies, like they just put everything in their mouth.
Yeah.
So they really shouldn't have plastic toys. Like most teddy bears are literally just made from plastic. So you've got to kind of, be very conscious.
It is a full-time job trying to avoid microplastics, to be honest. Just give a piece of wood to chew on.
It is. But there's some, there are some easy swaps like for your kids particularly, like not having plastic, tableware and knives and forks, like use metal or use porcelain. Even with their drink bottles, that's something I've got to work on for the boys. They're drinking from plastic drink bottles right now and I need to find a nice metal alternative.
Yeah, it's tricky though because metal just feels like it could hurt them. But like I'm looking at...
They'll definitely use it as a weapon on each other, but I need to figure that out.
I'm looking at like Amali's
what's more dangerous,
right
I don't
now,
know.
and pretty much it's all plastic. It is all plastic.
Did you know right now, Mole, I know you lived in the UK for a period of time and it's not known for its heat. It's most of England is in a drought right now. All of Wales is in a drought. Like, I don't know if you've seen the photos. It's crazy. Like the fields are just brown. It's the driest conditions in 190 years since records began.
190 years.
Mm.
Because I feel like the last few summers it's been getting like hot and like serious hot heat. And the scary thing in the UK is they're just not used to it. Like
Yeah.
literally their train tracks melt because of what like the tar makes what's made up in the tar. Like it can't control that intense heat.
Yeah.
It melts.
Well, also they have no air conditioning on their public
Yeah.
transport. Like you've been in the tube when it's hot, right? It is horrendous. They have no aircon. So they're not set up to deal with this. So it's really dangerous for people and for human health, you know?
Yeah. That's
Anyway,
wild.
yeah, so and it's the thing that like I was reflecting on this week because I know, look, I know I bang on about climate change a bit because I care about it deeply, but I think often it feels confusing, overwhelming, and so people like I don't really get it, I don't really care about it, and I'm like, but do you care about the fact that everyone's insurance premiums are going up and the cost of food is going up? Do you care about, like, do you have a beach that you love? Do you have a rainforest that you love? Because they're all going to be affected. My point being is that people think they don't care about climate. Actually, we all care about climate change deeply because it affects every single part of our life. So, Mo, I like to get free money coaching from you wherever I can. I thought we'll share it with our listeners. So, can you make me richer? What are some? I just want some like quick money wins now that I'm getting on top of my life admin.
Okay, B, do you know what? I will give you just two simple ways to pay off your home loan faster. How does that sound?
Sounds great. Hit me up.
Okay, now the first one is really, really simple. I want you to actually, I'll be interested to see if you've already done this, but you just call up your bank and you switch your mortgage repayments from monthly to fortnightly because generally they're always default monthly. But when you do that, it means you make 26 payments a year instead of 24. So it sneaks in an extra month of repayments. So you go, okay, yeah, that sounds cool. I can do that. I can switch from monthly to fortnightly. I won't even notice it. But what that actually means, and this is what kind of blows my mind is, and we're just going to look at some average numbers here. So let's say we've got a $500,000 loan. It's at a normal kind of interest rate, 6.14%. Just switching from monthly to fortnightly, how long do you think that would save on your, like, and when we're looking at maybe a 30-year time frame, how long do you think that would save you on your home loan?
I know it's a lot, but in my head, it shouldn't, like, maybe it would shave a year off because, like, it's only 2 extra payments a year.
It's 5 years and 7 months, and it would save you around
Wow.
$130,000 in interest saved.
Okay, I'm going to actually call up my home loan today and check that.
So that's tip number one. And my other tip is to use an offset account. Now, Australian banks have just got in trouble for actually not setting these up properly. So always double check that
Really?
it's actually been set up correctly. Think of it as like a bank account you attach to your home loan. And let's say you had $50,000 sitting there in cash in your offset account. It means you only pay interest on 450,000, not the total 500,000 of the loan. So
Yes.
essentially you're paying less interest, you're paying off your home loan faster. But again, looking at the example I just gave you before, so we've got a 500K loan, 6.14% interest rate. By having 50K sitting in an offset account, you're essentially saving around 5 years and 6 months. And guess how much you'd be saving in interest? Take a guess.
Same as before, like 100,000-ish or something?
Over $200,000.
Wow, okay.
So just by setting up those two things, you can be paying off your home faster and be saving a lot more in interest. So they're my top 2 hot takes for you today. So definitely check those out.
Well, what's got to go this week before you've got to go and get back to your
Well,
baby?
you've inspired my gotta go this week, Bryony. I think what's gotta go is not, we've got to stop pretending sex doesn't happen and we need to actually educate ourselves, like educate kids in schools on sex education and how the body works because like when I was pregnant, I learned so much about the female body that I had no idea about. I was like, what? So I think just like not talking about sex education's got to go.
Wow, Mol, does that include our conversations? Or are we going to start talking
Ew,
about
stop.
sex?
Ew, dang, yeah, gross.
My gotta go this week is just sharp furniture in general, but specifically beds.
Oh my God, bed
Like,
corners. They're the
oh
worst.
my gosh. And like
Axe my
nothing's
knee
designed with
and
kids' heads in
oh
mind.
my God. I've
But like
axed
the
myself
amount of
so
times.
much on
Yes.
my bed corners and my toes, and so was my partner. Do you know
Yes,
what? This
the
is a
amount of
problem I
time,
think a
especially
lot
with a
of people
baby,
struggle
right?
with.
In the dark, in night. I have
my God.
axed myself so many times this week. Going get it out. Why? It's got to
Gotta
go.
go.
Smooth corners, please. Smooth corners.